Hello everybody. In this video, we will discuss about role of IT Strategy Committee and IT Balanced Scorecards. After watching this video, you will be able to recall the steps in establishing IT governance in an enterprise, discuss the function of IT Strategies Committee, explain what is IT Balanced Scorecards. Role of IT Strategy Committee. First step, establishing IT governance in an enterprise. Set up champions for IT governance. Set up IT Strategy Committee. This is the governing body for the IT governance activities in the enterprise. Headed by a chairman, usually a board member, it comprises of the CIO and other board members or non-board members on IT knowledge and acumen. Corbett recommends IT strategy committees at the board level. One of the finest and the foremost thing that is recommended by the IT governance gurus regarding IT governance is to set up the champions for IT governance. They are basically individuals who are interested and who the company thinks are in the best position to steer the IT governance initiative forward. The very next step is the formation of the IT strategy committee, and we will certainly find a couple of IT governance champions within the IT strategy committee as well. IT strategy committee functions: align IT strategy and business strategy, drive the company strategically, work on the big picture. The important function of the IT strategy committee are as shown. The committee ensures that there is an alignment between the IT and the business strategy. The IT strategy committee meets annually, and its role is the very big picture and to provide a direction. The governance of how the strategy is achieved or implemented is done by the IT steering committee. IT strategy committee forms the governing part of the organization. They are the advisory body and not the execution. However, the decision-making authority lies with them. They are also responsible to measure the success of the IT governance implementation in the organization. They act as advisors by providing IT vision to the board and act as domain expert. They also advise and supervise strategic IT plans and investments. They are also advise and supervise enterprise resources available to support IT drives taken up by the organization, and are also actively involved in the IT risk management process. For this, they might coordinate with the risk or compliance committee. IT Balanced Scorecard. Kaplan and Norton devised it in 1992. It is performance management system, of late being adapted into IT. The next topic that we are going to cover is the IT Balanced Scorecard. Kaplan and Norton came up with something called a Balanced Scorecard (BSC) in 1992. It could be used as a performance management system which would help the organization to figure out how their strategies are measuring up to. Of late, the BSC has been used in information technology, and only recently IT systems have started to appear for everyday real-time processes. In this chapter, let us discuss how IT Balanced Scorecard IT BSC can be tied up with Business Balanced Scorecard BUBSC and thus align IT business governance process. Kaplan and Norton designed the balanced scorecards for their enterprise level. Their fundamental belief was that only financial evolution of an organization asset was not sufficient to evaluate or assess how an organization was performing. The figure here shows a standard IT balanced scorecard. The user orientation perspective represents the user evaluation of IT. The operative excellence perspective represents the IT process employed to develop and deliver the application. The future orientation perspective represents the human and technology resources needed by IT to deliver its services. The business contribution perspective captures the business value of the IT investments. Each of these perspectives has to be translated into corresponding matrices and measure that assesses the current situation. These assessments have to be repeated periodically and have to be confronted with goals that have to be set beforehand and with benchmarking figures. Cause-effect relationship in IT BSC. It is very important to establish the cause and effect relationship in an IT BSC. This is achieved by having two types of measures: outcome measures and performance drives. A well-built IT scorecard needs a good mix of these two types of measures. The association between what drives the performance and outcome metric is very important and should be clear right at the beginning. Both these measures are required in reality to correlate between input and output. For example, IT maintaining programmer productivity such as function point, person, month, without knowledge of their educational background is of no use, and performance drivers without output measure may lead to wasted investments without measurements to check whether the strategy was effective. These cause and effect association have to be defined throughout the whole scorecard. We can see how each of the perspective is dependent on one another in the figure here. Providing education to IT staff promotes the development of better quality systems that turn in helps in increasing user satisfaction that will finally lead to a higher business value of IT. IT staff education, future orientation leads to better quality systems development, which is nothing but operational excellence. This leads to higher user satisfaction, which is actually the user orientation or user perspective. And this leads to repeat business, which is nothing but delivering value to business contribution. A very important aspect of IT BSc is how does it satisfy IT governance? In other words, how does the IT Balanced Scorecard answers the 3 IT governance questions? How do top management get their CIO and their IT organization to return some business value to them? How do top management make sure that their CIO and their IT organization do not steal the capital they supply or invest in bad projects? How do top management control their CIO and their IT organization? The example figure illustrates here that IT is fully involved in the new business process of the bank. The Business BSc shows a marketing strategy of reaching more and new customers through alternative contribution channels. The alignment, IT business processes and the IT governance is shown in the IT Strategic BSc and the IT Development BSc. The website technology is chosen and rapid website development approach is to be applied. The different balanced scorecards drive the business and IT strategy on measurement and follow-up. In this way, there is assurance or no assurance that the IT organization returns some business value or dues, not invest in bad projects. And the adequacy of IT control mechanisms, the scorecards may also uncover major problems. It may be possible that the board of directors of a bank decides to go for web banking and that its IT organization is not at all acquainted with this technology as delineated by its development BSc. IT governance also means that the control mechanisms are to be provided to top management. The standard IT BSc is a good illustration of how this control can be answered. The scorecard provides the board with crucial measures on IT expenses, user satisfaction, efficiency of development and operations, expertise of IT staff, and may compare these measures with benchmarking figures. This avoids that IT reporting with the board is restricted to technical matters such as selection of a new telecommunication network, and assures that inhibitors for new business strategies can be detected and be acted upon as depicted in the web banking examples. Let us have a quick recap on what we discussed in this video. We have learned that IT Strategy Committee is the governing body for the IT governance activities in the enterprise. IT Strategy Committee ensures that there is alignment between the IT and the business strategy. Standard Balanced Scorecard was devised by Kaplan and Norton in 1992.